Yo, what's good, truth seekers? Grant Whitaker here, and tonight we're diving headfirst into the firestorm that was Donald Trump's ABC interview from yesterday. Buckle up, because nobody calls out the media like Trump does. He has got a sixth sense for sniffing out so-called journalists who are really just political activists with a microphone. Don't believe me? Let's roll the tape and see it for ourselves. We're breaking down the juiciest moments from this interview, where Trump does what he does best, answers recycled questions with the precision of a laser-guided missile. First up, the media's shameful cover-up of Joe Biden's cognitive decline. Let's check it out.
I'm going to ask you, if I may, do you think the reputation of the United States has gone down under your presidency?
No, I think it's gone way up, and I think we're a respected country again. We were laughed at all over the world. We had a president that couldn't walk up a flight of stairs, couldn't walk down a flight of stairs, couldn't walk across a stage without falling. We had a president that was grossly incompetent. You knew it, I knew it, and everybody knew it, but you guys didn't want to write it because you're fake news. All right.
Did you hear that? Trump called it straight. The media tried to pull a fast one, pretending Biden was sharp as a tack, like he's out here winning spelling bees at 21. But now, now they're crying. We were deceived. The Biden admin lied to us. Give me a break. They knew exactly what was up, but tanked their credibility to keep Trump out of the White House. Let's see what Axios' Alex Thompson had to say at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Roll it.
President Biden's decline and its cover-up by the people around him is a reminder that every White House, regardless of party, is capable of deception. But being truth tellers also means telling the truth about ourselves. We, myself included, missed a lot of this story, and some people trust us less because of it.
Come on, Alex, you didn't miss the story. You buried it because it didn't fit your agenda, and he's not alone. Chuck Todd, former Meet the Press host, has his own weak excuse. Check this out.
This is not a media failure. This is a failure of the Democratic Party. And I just sort of the virtue signaling that some people have done to try to say that the media missed this story. They didn't miss this story. David Ignatius wrote, I just refuse to accept this stupid premise because it's a right-wing, manufactured right-wing premise in order to stain the media. The media's got plenty of things to attack them for, and there are MSNBC and CNN and pundits that absolutely carried water for Joe Biden. This was not that failure. This is an attempt by some to virtue signal, and it's this horrible sort of pitting different news organizations against each other when ultimately the people at fault are Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, Jill Biden, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, every elected member of Congress.
Seriously, Chuck, you had Pelosi, Schumer, every big-shot Democrat on your show. Did you ever ask them a single tough question about Biden's mental state? Of course not. These people weren't journalists. They were propagandists in suits, pushing whatever narrative would sink Trump. Now let's talk immigration, because the media's got a new poster boy. Kelmar Abrego Garcia, their so-called model immigrant, who apparently shouldn't have been deported. Let's see what they're saying.
That every single person who is going to be deported gets a hearing first.
Well,
do you acknowledge that?
I'll have to ask the lawyers about that. All I can say is this. If you're going to have 21 million people, and if we have to get a lot of them out because they're criminals, we're going to have to act fast. We can't. Do you think we can give 21 million trials? Let's say each trial takes 2 weeks. Is that what you want us to do?
The law
give
is the
21
law,
million?
sir. The law is the law, and you're
the law
sworn
doesn't
to
say anything
uphold it.
about trials.
No, not trials, hearings. I said
These
hearings.
people came in, they're not citizens. They came in illegally. They came into our country illegally.
And
we have to get them out.
There's one man and one court order. Kilmar Abrego Garcia. He's the Salvadoran man who crossed into this country illegally, but who is under a protective order that he not be sent back to El Salvador. Your government sent him back to El Salvador and acknowledged in court that was a mistake. And now the Supreme Court has upheld an order that you must return him to facilitate his return to the United States. What are you doing to comply?
Well, the lawyer that said it was a mistake was here a long time, was not appointed by us, should not have said that, And just so you understand, the person that you're talking about, you're making this person sound, this is a MS-13 gang member, a tough cookie, been in lots of skirmishes, beat the hell out of his wife, and the wife was petrified to even talk about him, okay? This is not an innocent, wonderful gentleman from Maryland.
I'm not saying he's a good guy. It's about the rule of law. The order from the Supreme Court stands,
He came
sir.
into our country illegally.
You could get him back. There's a phone on this desk.
I could.
You could pick it up, and
I
with
could.
all the power of the presidency, you could call up the president of El Salvador and say, send him back right now.
And if he were the gentleman that you say he is, I would do that.
But the court has
he's
ordered
not.
you to facilitate that.
I'm not the one making this decision. We have lawyers that
president.
don't want to do this.
But the buck stops in this office.
No. I follow the law. You want me to follow the law? If I were the president that just wanted to do anything, I'd probably keep him right where he
Supreme
is.
Court says what the law is.
Listen, I was elected to take care of a problem. It was a unforced error that was made by a very incompetent man, a man that turned out to be incompetent, that you always said was wonderful, a great genius, right? And now you find out, all of the media now, they're saying what a mistake they made. A man who was grossly incompetent allowed us to have open borders where millions of people flowed in. I campaigned on that issue. I wouldn't say it was my #1 issue, but it was pretty close.
Right up there.
I campaigned on that issue. I've done an amazing job. I have closed borders. He said you couldn't do it. You wouldn't be able to do it. It would never happen. Well, it happened, and it happened very quickly. Wait a minute. When we have criminals, murderers, criminals in this country, we have to get them out, and we're doing it.
By law.
And you'll pick out one man, but even the man that you picked out, he said he wasn't a member of a gang. And then they looked, and on his knuckles, he had MS-13.
There's a dispute
Well,
over that.
Wait a minute. He had MS-13 on his knuckles tattooed.
Oh, he had some tattoos that are interpreted that way. But that was Photoshop. So let me
That was Photoshop. Terry, you can't
had-
do that. Hey, they're giving you the big break of a lifetime. You know, you're doing the interview. I picked you because, frankly, I never heard of you, but that's okay. But I picked you, Terry, but you're not being very nice. He had MS-13 tattooed.
We'll agree to disagree. I want to move on to something else.
Terry, do you want me to show you the picture?
I saw the picture.
And you think it was Photoshop? Well,
Here we go.
Oh, wow, what a travesty. This guy, deported back to his home country of El Salvador, is the left scandal of the century. Marijuana leaf skull cross. Look at these tattoos. The media's like just body art. Sure. And ignore the 2018 domestic abuse allegations or the fact that an immigration judge and an appeals panel labeled him a national security threat. But no, to the left, Kelmer's a saint. Please. Trump nailed it. If we follow the left's due process obsession, hearings, appeals, activist judges, no one gets deported for a decade. A country has a right to secure its borders, right? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Am I crazy or is that just common sense? Next, let's go global. The war in Ukraine. Trump's answers here show he's not falling for the media's "do you trust Putin?" traps. Take a look.
Because of me, I do believe that he's willing to stop the fighting. Don't
You
forget,
think he wants
this
peace?
is
You think Vladimir Putin wants peace?
I think he does, yes. I think
Still.
he does. I think
Even
because
with the
of
raining
me,
missiles
I
on.
think he really, his dream was to take over the whole country. I think because of me, he's not going to do that.
Do you trust him?
I think.
Do you trust him?
I don't trust you. I don't trust a lot of people. I don't trust you. Look at you. You come in all shooting for bear. You're so happy to do the interview.
I am
And
happy.
then you start hitting me with fake questions. You start telling me that a guy whose hand is covered
All
with
right,
a
we're back to
tattoo doesn't have the tattoo, you know.
all right.
I mean, you're being dishonest.
No,
But-
I'm not.
but let me
No, I
just-
am.
That's the Trump we know. No sugarcoating. Geopolitics isn't about warm fuzzies. It's about interests. When they ask, "Do you trust Putin?" Trump flips it. Putin wants the war over, but on his terms. That's not a headline. That's reality. And here's a stat the media won't touch. In just 3 months, Trump has answered 20 times more press questions than Biden did in 4 years. Interviews with Time, The Atlantic, and now ABC. Biden's transparency, but don't expect the media to admit it. They too busy painting Trump as a dictator. So next time you hear a journalist whining about Trump, remember, they're not victims. They're accomplices. If you loved this breakdown, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the bell for more truth bombs. Grant Whitaker signing off. See you in the next one.